Good afternoon. Hey Ayakame, good afternoon. How are you doing? If you can see me okay, you can hear me all right, put it into the chat, let me know. It is Monday, the 29th of January. Almost the end of the first month. Happy New Week. Give it a couple of moments before we get started. Let me just make sure everything's streaming okay. All right. Cool. How have you guys been trading? Have you been trading well? Let me know. Okay, two more minutes and we shall get started. In the meantime, while you're waiting, you can let me know if you have any questions about any trades you did last week. If you can help me out massively, do click that like and subscribe button as well. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? Good morning. Thank you, thank you. Hey Chris, good morning. Thank you, Ju Marinas, appreciate that. Hey Linley. Yeah, sorry about having to reschedule the session just earlier, Linley. Do remember to book another session, we'll get that one going, okay? So sorry about that last minute reschedule. Hey Jimmy, how are you doing? One more minute. Thanks for that. Hey Anthony, how are you doing? Good morning. Alrighty, let's get started. Let's get going. Good to have you all here. Monday afternoon for me, Monday morning for you guys, 29th of January. It is almost the end of the first month. Hope it's been a fruitful month for you guys. It hasn't moved as much as I liked, as I would have liked, but still a profitable month. So hope it's been the same for you guys, okay? For all the anyone who's new and joining us for the first couple of times, or first couple of times, do remember to drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. I'd love to find out. And also for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Good to have you with me again during this daily market analysis. If you can help me out, do remember to click that like and subscribe button. That would help massively to get more people onto the stream, whether you're on TradingView, you're on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitch, streaming across all different platforms. Hey, and actually, if you would like, you can suggest to me any other platforms you think I should be streaming to. I would really appreciate that as well. Okay. And also, if you have any particular questions, do remember to put it into the chat and let me know. The link is there for you guys for the Discord channel If you haven't already, do make sure you join us on Discord. That's where we can take our discussions beyond this daily market analysis session through the day if I get into any interesting trade or if I see any interesting trade setups come up. Okay, social scientists, how are you doing? With a quick question there, what do you think about SMC? SMC, smart money concepts. I know a lot of people are using it right now. I know a lot of people are adopting that method right now. I don't use SMC in particular, but I have heard from many people that I coach and that I interact with that the methods or the things that I look out for on the charts are quite similar to the SMC. So the thing is, I just don't know it as the SMC terms, but yeah, we do look for some similar components of it, right? So does it work? Yeah, it does. I'm pretty sure it does. To some extent, it all comes down to, like with any strategy, right? It all comes down to how you implement it, what you do with it rather than the strategy itself. Okay, so yeah, it's not a bad one to do, but I do identify some components or some approaches using the method a little bit difficult for some traders, but yeah, it can generate some positive results. Okay, with that, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as education material. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, so please remember their objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that, let's keep going. Hey Goju, how are you doing? Hey Blazmac, how are you doing? Blazak, Blame Zach. Sorry, I'm messing up your nickname, but Blame Zach. And hey Mady, good morning, how are you doing? Okay, so what we had since the last time we spoke, or what has happened since the last time we spoke, on Friday last week, we had the US core PCE price index being released right there, 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. It was a 0.1%. It was expected to come out at 0.2, and it got released pretty well as expected at 0.2%. Right, so no big surprises there from the core PCE price index. We were expecting possibly even a 0.3, but it's just a small uptick in terms of core PCE price index. It is also quite important economic data because the core PCE price index is the Fed Reserve's primary inflation measure, right? In addition to the CPI, it is the core PCE price index is the Fed Reserve's primary inflation measure. You can see that with a release at 0.2%, the dollar index at that time, 9 o'clock, zoom in a little bit, right at that candle there, right, shot up a little bit, came right back down, set at that point. At 0.2%, it doesn't change too much. If it was below then 0.1, if it was below 0.1%, then we would have seen the dollar index push to the downside. Okay, so it reacted, so take that away for now. We were saying that, the most likely we were looking for that scenario of where to test and push down. It did test and push down, a bit less retracement than we thought, but it did push down after that. So take that away for now. Right, so the dollar index came up, found resistance here, and right at that point before pushing down. So 103.65 or 103.70 as a resistance level is still holding. I'll put 103.70 right there. It's still holding quite strong. It's still holding quite strong. Right now pushing back down a little bit, looking like it's trying to push back down a little bit. Okay, so that was what happened since the last time we spoke on Friday during the daily market analysis. Because it is Monday, because we are heading towards the end of the month and into a new month, I'll do a quick preview of what could happen for this week. Okay, and we're going to watch out for that as well. Biden says US shall respond after drone strike kills troops in Jordan. That could be a major escalation, right? US shall respond after a drone strike by an Iran-backed group killed 3 American troops in Jordan. If that does happen, that could be an escalation in the conflict in that region. If with that escalation, then we're going to see that more volatility come back into play. Typically, it would lead to a move towards reserve, which is maybe the dollar index pushing back up, maybe gold now showing that pushing higher as well. Okay, so a move towards reserve in commodity front, gold gaining strength. Maybe dollar index would gain some strength as well, but it might be a little bit less considering it is the US getting involved in the conflict. Okay, so that's something that will develop. There's a news event that will develop, and we'll probably keep a very close eye on that. In the meantime, good morning, Erwin. Hi, Desiree. How are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. And Angel Case, how are you doing? Good morning. So today, not a lot of news. Today, not a lot of news. We're looking at a result of maybe a bit of a retracement from what we've seen over last week. We're seeing now the Swiss franc pushing down quite strongly. I'll tell you more about that shortly. But today, I don't think it's going to be a big movement day. I don't think it's going to be a big movement day. This week, however, is going to be quite interesting because tomorrow, 30th of Jan, on Tuesday, we have JOLTS jobs openings for the US. Not a big change expected, but on Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m. GMT +8, we do have the Aussie CPI, the Aussie inflation number year-on-year, inflation growth number year-on-year, and I like how it looks. It is currently at 4.3%. They are expecting it to go to 3.7%, showing a slowdown, a massive slowdown or significant slowdown in inflation growth for in the Australian economy. Might lead to the RBA easing up on their current monetary policy decisions, which is going to be next Tuesday, right? Which is going to be on next Tuesday. I don't think it will lead to a cut. I don't think it will lead to a cut, but I think it could. If this releases at about 3.7 or less, that could lead to a more confident hold from the RBA. I'll tell you more about that on Tuesday as we prepare for that session or that news release. And then we have the Chinese PMI numbers. Not too worried about that. US ADP, non-farm employment change, GDP numbers for the Canadians on Thursday morning, early Thursday morning for me at 3 a.m. GMT +8. Might be a perfect timing for you guys. We will have the US with the Fed funds rate decision, interest rate decision to be released from the US early Thursday morning, going to hold, most likely going to hold at 5.5%, because if you check out the CME Fed Watch tool, it's going to show that we are most likely at a 97.9% chance of holding at the current rates, with a 2.1%, a very slim chance. There's never 100%, right, in trading. A very slim chance of an ease at 2.1%. In March, we're looking at a 50% chance of holding at the current rates, while 49.6% easing. And then into May, where we're looking at a 90.5% chance of a rate cut. Again, I did that whole article, I shared that with you guys multiple times already. The idea is that yes, we're possibly looking at a rate cut decision in April. So with that, with no meeting in April, it's most likely going to be May, which is showing here on the data. So with that, on Thursday, it is still going to be an important meeting. It is still going to be an important decision, because as much as they hold at 5.5%, we're going to pay attention to the statement and also in the press conference of whether Fed Chair Powell is going to indicate about it's going to be hawkish or dovish about future plans with the interest rate decision. He might say something, I don't know yet, but I'll update you guys on Wednesday. But he might say something about maybe extending, pushing that timeline back out. It all comes down to that news decision on Thursday morning at 3 a.m. We have CPI numbers, and then on Thursday, same day, we have the Bank of England with their interest rate decision as well, looking to hold at 5.25%. Looking to hold at 5.25%. The big item to pay attention to here would be the MPC official bank rate votes, because it is currently at 306. That means first number is how many members voted to increase rates. Second number voted to decrease rates, and third number is to hold rates. We had 3 voting to increase, 0 voting to cut, and 6 voting to hold. If it does get released at 207, as market analysts are forecasting, that means we're looking that 2 members will be voting, or rather 1 member will be switching from voting to increase rates to vote to hold rates. That's going to be a little bit of a dovish, if it does come around, it's going to be a bit of a dovish tone for the pound dollar. Might see a move, or quite a significant move, on the pound dollar. So something to watch out for on Thursday evening. Following on from that, Friday evening, we will have the non-farm employment change number to come from the US. It was 216. Look at that. It was 173, expected 168. Surprised everyone with a 216. Right now, 216, expected 177. Are we primed for another surprise here on the non-farm employment change for the US? I think we'll get a better idea, not a confirmation or a signal of it, from the ADP non-farm employment change number, and also the JOLTS jobs openings number. Okay, so quite a number of news to be had for this week right across the board, for the US, for the Aussie, for the pound as well. We're fingers crossed, I hope I don't jinx it, but we're possibly going to be looking at significantly increased volatility for this week. And we also have OPEC meetings on Thursday as well. Okay, and as I was saying earlier, maybe a retaliation or reaction or response from the drone strike in Jordan. So a lot of things to watch out for, but for today, looks like it might be the calm before the storm. With that, we'll look at the charts. KLE, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. And Blessed, long time no see. Good morning, how are you doing? Social Scientist has asked how much it takes to become a profitable trader. It all comes down to you. It all comes down to you. It depends on what's your capital amount, how much time are you putting into trading, how much effort are you putting into it, are you sticking to the rules, what kind of strategy are you using, and how much do you need, right? How much do you need? What's your expectations? All that put together boils down to how much it takes to become a profitable trader. Okay, if you ask me, it takes 110%. You have to be all in, you have to be fully committed try and achieve that trading success. You don't get anywhere half-heartedly. Okay, so now with that, I got an itchy ear today. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? Good morning. Good to see you too. With that dollar index still well within the range, right? Tested, as I was saying, tested resistance, track down, tested again, track right, back down, tested, and push down. We do have, I'll be happy to take that away. We do have a bit of an interim level at about that point as well. Okay, so we've seen 2 points where it's tested this and bounced. Again, this area, it came all the way down to the support, tested this level, and again this level. Okay, so within this wide range of 102.70 and 103.70, we also have a midline there at about 103.15. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now looking at this, today being the 29th, okay, and no major news on the dollar, right? No major news on the dollar. What I'm anticipating here is that you would see how this has reacted. Just that small move there. Oh wait, no, sorry, wrong one. Just that small move there, it came down, it's bounced off 61 and it looks like it's pushing back down again. Okay, so we take that one away. I don't need this line. I'll keep that there. 61 area is holding. Okay. So now looking at this, what would I think could happen is maybe a bounce, a test, and a reject back down. It's either going to do it that way, test, reject, and push back down, or just sit around this area and then push down towards the support here at 103.15. Okay, so that's what I think. Because there is no major news on the dollar, we've seen that track lower, rebounded back up. What's likely to happen here is going to short-term consolidation, trade lower to 103.15, and then break out, trade lower to 103.15. There we go. Hey Diana, how are you doing? Good morning. So we're seeing the dollar index short-term consolidation, looking for it to break out, to trade lower to 103.15 level. I don't see, for today, I don't see a big move down. Okay, no big reason unless something happens in Jordan, unless the conflict escalates significantly. So we're looking at some brief weakness to come for the dollar index. With that move, the expected move to the downside on the Kiwi did not happen. Take that away. It found the support level nice and strongly. A brief move to the downside on the dollar index is going to imply that we're going to see the Kiwi push to the upside. I'm happy with that. Let me just check this. Okay. Why I'm checking this is because I'm looking at this as price holding that 38.2. So we're taking the whole Fibonacci level from right at the top here all the way down to this bottom here. Take that one away. This level here. All right. And we have 38.2 where it bounced off, tested, failed to break, came back down. Now looking like it's pushing up. We have 50 and 61.8, which I would like as my resistance area. right? So I'll consider this whole thing as my resistance area. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. So now, looking at this point, dollar weakness, if it does push down, we're going to see, we should be seeing the Kiwi push up. Let me just check one more level. Right there, 38.2. If it breaks up, we could see that trade higher. So 6110. 6113. Take profit could be 30 pips. Stop loss, you would want it at least, ideally I would say 30, but I think that that's too wide. Okay, so I'm actually looking at that level there. So I'm looking for it to break up. I think we can keep our stop quite tight, no more than 15 pips. Take profit at 30 to the upside. If it breaks above that, then you can trade it up and drag that trade higher. Okay, so that's what I would be looking for on the Kiwi dollar. We're looking to buy at 0.6113. Was it? 6113, 15 to 30. 6113. Stop loss 15. Take profit 30. Okay. Could you get in earlier? You could, but I don't think it'd be worth trying to get in earlier. I think that'd be a fair level, especially if it breaks and closes above that. It'll be closing above that point as well. So I'll be happy with that for the Kiwi. Then onto the Aussie. Okay, Aussie did not break lower to trigger our trade, so take that away. You'll see that that trend line, although it broke briefly, if we took the tail of the trend line, it's still holding right there. So it's pushing back up. It's pushing back up. But what I'm paying attention to here, or what I'm noticing here, is that we have this whole area that since last week is tested, failed to break. Tested again, failed to break. Tested, failed, tested, failed, tested, failed. It went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Almost every day it's gone up to this level and failed to break higher. So what I'm watching out at this point, Diana says equal highs and equal lows. Yep, you can say that that's kind of the, oops. That's kind of the equal lows there, sitting in that consolidation. I'm also highlighting, I would also highlight that as much as there's equal highs, there is a bit of a higher low to the upside. Okay? Clean up charts a little bit. So now with that, and also noting that we have CPI numbers on Wednesday to be released for the Aussie. What I would say is, again, stay clear of this for now. Because even if it does test and push back down, even if it does test and push back down, selling this down is only a 37, 40 pip move. Could you do that? I think this would be a hindsight kind of trade. You know what I mean by that? This would be a hindsight kind of trade because yes, we could say that we look to sell at that point, but you would almost never get in at that point. You get in a lot lower, right? You get in at best at 0.66 level, which you have a 30 pip and then your stop loss is about 20 pips. I feel that is not that worth it unless you have 15. It's something that you pay a lot of attention to. Okay, so what I would prefer to look for is not just this area, right? But I want to see if there is a push higher, and I want to see a reaction at this 61.8 level. Okay, so I'm thinking that, let's see, could the Aussie test 6650, and at that point we could be looking for a move either to the upside or the downside on the Aussie dollar. Okay, so Aussie would be a do nothing. If price pushes higher, look for reaction at 0.6650. Okay, so that's what I'll be look at the dollar index, looking at it's pushing lower. You might have a question of, could we buy it up from this point? Again, that's a 30 pip move. You could have a 15 pip stop, but it's going to be choppy at that point. So like Jamil was saying, it's a strong liquidity area, which means that it could do that, push back down, and then do that as well, right? Or even to a more drastic move, it could do that, push back down that way, and then go there. Come back down about 50% and push back up. So just be, I just want to see a reaction at 6650. Could coincide with Wednesday's move, could be a slightly before that. But I think that you have a better trading opportunity, and it could look like that, right? You'd have a 60 pip move to the upside, stop loss tight, no more than 20 pips if it breaks above the resistance towards that high, or if it rejects, then you can look to sell down from that point. Again, 20 pips stop loss, back down to this level, 60, 70 pips to the downside. Ultimately, wait for the reaction at 6650. Pips Apprentice said, no trades triggered on Aussie last week within my trading hours. Yeah, Aussie has been choppy, has been within that tight range. I don't think I had any trades, maybe one, but I don't think I had any trades on the Aussie for last week. Then on to the yen, very similar. Look at that. Everything is coming within that range. This is Kiwi in the range, looking like it's quite attract soon. 30 minutes, let's see what happens to the Kiwi. Aussie dollar within the range, US yen within the range, anticipating that the dollar could weaken. We're looking for this to push down, to break to the downside, very similar to what happened here and here as well. So I would be looking US yen 147.50, stop loss 30 pips, take profit. You could go all the way down 100, but you could even be looking at about 75. Just catching that point there, right? So just thinking of this whole thing as an area. So this whole thing is my support area. So I'm just trading it down to the support. 147.50, 30 to 75. I'll be quite happy with that. I'm getting a bit distracted now with the dollar pushing lower. I might be looking at I want to be looking at some trades. 147. I have 148. Okay. .50, stop loss 30, take profit 75. 147.50, stop loss 30, take profit 75. Pound dollar is coming up next. MC. That's okay. Then onto the pound dollar. Again, it came so close. I was watching this. I came down. This was during our session. It came down at the end of the session. I thought, great, next move, I could look to sell this down, and then lo and behold, it bounces right back up. Okay, so it's back within the range. Diana says, I didn't trade last week, but looking at charts, it seemed choppy. It was. I don't think I had that many trades on, last week as well. I think I had a couple, a handful at the most. Pound, dollar, what was I saying? We're staying within that channel, right? It's not a perfectly drawn channel, but staying within the channel. The dollar index weakening is going to lead to the pound dollar pushing up. Now I'm looking at this. We have these points here. I would say that you're looking to buy it up 1.2725. Look for the candle close plus a little bit. Stop loss 30 pips. I want it just below that bottom of the channel like that. And then I could be looking for it to trade up towards this high, or this high, or this high in that region. I'd say that that would be reasonable. This would be that way. Could you push it higher? Yes. Let me see. So it's 38.2 there, breaking. So 1.2725 I'm happy with. Stop loss 30 pips I'm happy with. Take profit. You could go to 70 with a bit of a hesitation at just before that, so about that point. Hesitation at about 50 pips, but you could go up to 70. Okay, so 1.2725. Let me put that in first. We're looking at pound dollar buy 1.2725. Stop loss 30, take profit 70. Jamil says, I think it's going down. If it does go down, that means we're going to see the dollar index bounce back up, right? Bounce back up. It could happen. I think it all comes down to what happens at this hour. How does this candle close? I think if it can close above this 38.2, we might see that push up to maybe not to 70, but to 50 pips even. Okay. I do still think that there is a bit of an upside potential. Could hesitate at 50 pips. Okay. Blame Zach said last week was profitable. Monday seems good for me. Took advantage of the up move on pound for scalp. Could you give some info on pound if that fits in this webinar? I just saw your message there, Blame Zach, but just did that the view on the pound dollar. There we go. Thinking that it might push up a little bit more. Hope you caught that one. Wait and see what happens. Yep, exactly. Good. It's at that point where anything can happen, but I'm just looking at the way it's been pushing up. So it could push higher. Just wait for that candle to close and see what happens from there. Euro dollar again did not trigger lower. Take that away. Bouncing off, finding good support at this point to the point that I would consider this as a good support level. Pushing back up. What you notice here is that it came right back down, right? So this small move up, it came back down to 61.8 interim level, and then looks like it's pushing back up. Okay, that point there. Can it push higher? Yes, it could. I'm just being wary that we're a bit dovish on the dollar. It does look like it's pushing down. Dollar index, let me see. Euro looks like it's grabbing liquidity and filling weekly open gap before moving down. Okay, that's what Erwin. So Erwin said Euro looks like it's grabbing liquidity, filling the weekly open before moving lower. Let me just have a look at something. It's there. I think, right, what I'm thinking is that, just thinking aloud, is that if we do see the dollar index push down, yes, it looks like we might see the euro dollar push up, but we are looking to buy the Kiwi up, we're looking to, sell the yen down, buy the pound dollar up. Again, playing a bit of a devil's advocate, I'll consider, what if the dollar does not weaken and actually strengthens back up? Right, if it doesn't weaken and strengthens back up, then we could see that push down. I don't know about the liquidity, right? It's just, I think what you're highlighting is those points there that's pushed up, grabbing that. Typically, what I would say is that it could push down and then do that, but I'm considering the possibility that if it does break down 1.0835, I'll give it a bit of space. My stop loss would be 15. My take profit would be 55 to the downside, with the expectation that it's going to break that level. And this, if it does bounce up, if it breaks above that point, yes, it's a straightforward long towards the resistance. Could be looking at something like that, right? Tight stop 15, take profit 40 pips to the upside. But I'm just considering what if it breaks down, so I'll be looking at this instead. 1.0835, 15 to 55. Okay, again 1.0835, stop loss 15, take profit 55 to the downside. Erwin's on a 5-minute chart. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I think it kind of shows a similar thing, and I'm just keeping that as an option. Dollar index is still, I would still consider this as within that consolidation. Okay, MC says pound is on the run on the tick chart. I don't want to get to the tick chart. Give it time, give it time. Because of our session, because of this session, we're trying to cover, trading for most people. So I try and refrain from going too small into the smaller time frame or too long as well. Okay, so we try to stick to the 1 hour time frame. Now with that, then on to the US Swiss franc. Did not do that, pushing down. Do nothing at this point. We have a low there, it's pushing lower because of that dollar strength. So we are looking for it to push down again. No, not dollar strength, dollar weakness. Break below 0.8605, 03, just around that point. Stop loss, take profit 30 pips, stop loss no more than 15. Not my favorite. Not my favorite pair. Not my favorite setup. Could it go lower from here? Possibly. 61.8 is right there as well. Right, I would even think that this could be a good support level there. just because of these points. This point here, oops, and this point here. So I'm ignoring 61 given that it breaks below 50 and the equal low where it bounced off, it breaks down. So 0.8603, 15 to 45. Let's see, Swiss franc, sell 0.8603, stop loss 15, take profit 45 to the downside. Does that make sense? Just a quick reminder again, everyone, if you can help me out, do remember to click that like and subscribe button. That would help massively. Okay, someone's just asked for my Telegram ID. I do not use Telegram. I do not have a Telegram ID. So if you're joining any group or anything with my name or my face on Telegram, I am not on Telegram. I'm not on Telegram. So just be extra. I do know that there are a lot of groups and all that out there using my name or face on Telegram. I'm not there. Please be careful. Very nice, Jamil. Waiting for his withdrawal. Fantastic. Okay, then onto the USCAD. Did not trigger again. Take that away. It bounced up. I feel like I've just been super careful with my setups, so a lot of it hasn't been triggered. It bounced up to 38.2, retracing back down now, coinciding at this point here, coinciding with 61.8 here, that low and that low there. So be super patient here on the US CAD. If the dollar does continue to weaken, then we're looking for the US CAD to break that support level and head lower. And sell down 1.3410. Give it a bit of space, 1.3405. Stop loss 20. Take profit 55 to the downside. Yes, Diana, not me. So Diana just said some friend request from you on Discord, which I found weird. Super weird. My nickname on Discord is I will not PM you. So I won't PM you. I'll leave it to you guys to PM me. All right, so it's not me. If anyone PMs you to tell you about whatever Telegram group or stuff, it's not me. US CAD 1.3405, 20 to 55. US CAD, we're looking to sell 1.3405, stop loss 20, take profit 55. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just considering, while I just typed that up, I'm thinking, could it bounce back up? Could be an option, but I would prefer to see it break, so I'll keep that as my setup. But consider that possibility if it does bounce as well, okay? Then on to gold, pushing up. So it did not break lower, pushing up because I think it's because of all that uncertainty and the possible escalation in the conflict in the Jordanian area, as the drone strikes causing this move towards reserve, in addition to the possible pending weakness on the dollar index, leading to this push up. Right now, that's done. Right now, it's coming close to 2035. Also, that 61.8 level, which is 2040, I would say do nothing. Okay, in this area here, nothing. Unless it breaks above 2040, then we could see 2055. Okay, so, and I would like to pair that move. I want to see some news about an escalation, or I want to see some evidence of the dollar index weakness before I will look into gold for that push up. So must see the gold weakness or escalation in Jordan. Can't type. And gold, then we could see gold break above 2040 to 2055. Break above 2040, trade up to 2055. There we go. Okay. Yes, I will look at Swiss yen. I just remembered that. I saw Diana on. I thought, I need to look at Swiss yen. Euro is pushing down. Still in that consolidation. Just be, we've got 9 minutes to the candle close. That might push down. That's looking like it could do that. That's not yet. Yen still waiting. Pound dollar sitting right there. Jamil is thinking it could push down. I'm thinking it push up. We don't need to see what happens there. Euro dollar could push down. We're waiting for that. Between the euro and the pound, I would prefer to sell the euro down compared to the pound. MC says, I've been away in markets too long, too much golf. Hey, we should go play together. Are you in town or are you somewhere else? I find that when I use ticks, I can smell and breathe markets again. Yeah, I used to trade a 1 minute time frame quite a bit. I don't do ticks, but 1 minute is it's enjoyable when it moves. All right, Diana, I think I'm learning process past this week. Okay. Swiss yen. Okay, so we did that. That kind of worked out. This was last week that we spoke about this. It tested and rejected the push to the downside. Went back up to the resistance level. Again, quick reminder is the US Swiss franc could be pushing down. US Swiss franc could be pushing down. So some strength on the Swiss franc, while the US yen could be pushing down due to the weakness on the possible weakness on the dollar. So looking at this, the US Swiss franc, it is again at this level, which is a historic high, right? Go to the 4 hour, to the daily, you'll see that it's almost never that we've got to this point here. So back to the H1 time frame. Again, I'm thinking I'll be very uncomfortable to buy it up just because of what has happened in 11th of Jan and then again on the 17th. And it's sitting in that consolidation. Yes, the Swiss franc might strengthen to push this up a bit, but I'm thinking that if the yen does drop, if the US yen does drop, we might see this push back down, right? Very similar to what happened here and here. So maybe if you're looking to buy it up, be super careful. Still possible, but be super careful about that. Below 171.20, stop loss 40 pips at the most. Take profit, you could go all the way down to 120 to the downside. Right? Yes, I know that there is a bit of a level here, but you can see that it's broken that quite easily sometimes. So I'll be looking for that reversal back down. If you do buy it up, 172 will be a level, 172.50 will be a level. Just looking for those short-term moves. But yeah, I like it when my bias is the same as Diana's. You know, it's going to push up, it's going to attract a lot of attention when it breaks higher, but we're looking for that rejection to push back down again. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? All good? You're most welcome there, Jamil. Alrighty, so again, the link is there for the Discord channel. Before you jet off, do remember, help me out, click that like and subscribe button, that little thumbs up or rocket ship button when you're on TradingView. And if you haven't already, I'll see you on Discord. In the meantime, please trade well, trade safe. I'll see you on Discord. If not, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you, everyone.